Stop right there before you buy another expensive anti-aging cream. You might be shocked to hear this, but the single most effective ingredient for halting deep wrinkles and severe dryness isn't a rare orchid extract or a patented chemical from a lab in Switzerland. It is likely sitting in your bathroom cabinet right now, costing less than a cup of coffee. I'm talking about plain, simple petroleum jelly. For years, the beauty industry has tried to convince you that this humble tub of jelly is cheap filler or bad for your pores because they can't patent it and they can't charge you a fortune for it. But the biological reality is that for aging skin specifically, skin over 60, that is losing moisture at a rapid rate, nothing, and I mean nothing, stops the collapse of your skin barrier like this product. If you are struggling with deep etched lines and skin that feels like paper, ignoring this jar is like ignoring a life raft while you're treading water. We need to have an honest conversation about what is happening to your skin right now. You aren't just dealing with dryness in the way a 30-year-old does after a day at the beach. You are dealing with a fundamental structural change. As we age, our skin stops producing the natural lipids, the fats that hold moisture in. It's like a bucket with a hole in the bottom. You can pour in all the expensive water-based lotions you want, but they just leak out. This process creates what looks like deep wrinkles, but often those lines are actually dehydration fractures. The skin has collapsed because it's empty. The promise I want to make you today is simple. We are going to fix the hole in the bucket. We are going to go through 4 specific science-backed protocols using petroleum jelly to patch that barrier, plump those lines from the inside out, and give you back the comfort and glow you thought was gone for good. Before we open the jar, I want to welcome you to our community. If you are looking for health and wellness advice that respects your intelligence and addresses the real challenges of life after 60, consider subscribing to the channel. We are building a library of tips that doctors often forget to mention. And I'm curious, where in the world are you tuning in from today? Leave a comment below. It's always wonderful to see how far our message travels. Let's begin with the first and most transformative technique, which addresses the most common complaint I hear, the deep vertical lines on the face and that overall crepey texture. We call this the overnight occlusive seal. Though you might hear the younger generation on social media calling it slugging, don't let the trendy name fool you. This is old school dermatology at its finest. The problem with aging skin is a phenomenon called transepidermal water loss, or TEWL. This is the rate at which water literally evaporates from your skin into the air. When TEWL is high, your skin cells shrivel up like raisins and wrinkles look 10 times deeper than they actually are. The reason petroleum jelly is the hero here is strictly scientific. It is the gold standard of occlusives. An occlusive is a substance that forms a physical seal over the skin. Now, you might think your fancy night cream does this, but let's look at the data. A landmark study published in the Journal of the Society of Cosmetic Chemists compared various agents and found that petroleum, the active ingredient in petroleum jelly, reduces transepidermal water loss by more than Beifinger Joe Sherba. Nothing else even comes close. Mineral oil only reduces it by about 30%. Olive oil is even less effective. When you apply petroleum jelly, you are essentially stopping time for your skin cells for 8 hours a night. You are preventing that evaporation completely. Imagine your skin as a greenhouse. If you leave the windows open, the tropical plants inside dry out and wither. Petroleum jelly acts as the glass panes of that greenhouse. It traps the heat and moisture inside, creating a humid environment where your skin can actually repair itself. When you hydrate the stratum corneum, the outer layer of skin, it swells. That swelling is a good thing. It pushes out the wrinkles, making the surface look smoother and flatter. So here is your actionable protocol for the overnight occlusive seal. This is best done right before bed. First, you must wash your face and apply a humectant, something that adds water, like a simple lotion or a hyaluronic acid serum. Petroleum jelly does not add moisture. It locks it in. You need the water there first. While your face is still tacky from the lotion, take a pea-sized amount of petroleum jelly. Rub it between your palms to warm it up so it glides rather than drags. Gently press it over your face. You don't need a thick layer. You aren't frosting a cake. You just want a thin protective film. Pay special attention to the nasolabial folds, those lines from your nose to your mouth. By morning, you will find that instead of waking up tight and dry, your skin will be plump and soft. It's a feeling of relief that many seniors haven't felt in years. Moving on to our second targeted strategy, we need to focus on the area that is often the first to betray our age, the eyes. This is the crow's feet defense. The skin around your eyes is biologically different from the skin on your cheeks. It is incredibly thin, about 0.5 millimeters thick compared to 2 millimeters elsewhere. It has virtually no oil glands. This means it has no natural defense against drying out. Every time you smile, squint, or blink, you are folding this dry, brittle paper, creating permanent creases. I know many of you are hesitant to put something heavy near your eyes. You've been told it will cause puffiness or milia, those little white bumps. But let's look at the medical facts. Petroleum jelly is unique because it is biologically inert. A study referenced in the Indian Journal of Dermatology classifies highly refined petroleum as non-comedogenic and hypoallergenic. Biologically inert means it does not react with your skin. It doesn't oxidize. It doesn't trigger an allergic response. In a world of eye creams filled with preservatives and fragrances that cause contact dermatitis, petroleum jelly is the safest thing you can use. The fear of puffiness usually comes from applying too much, which can trap heat. But if used correctly, it is a miracle worker for fine lines. Think of the skin around your eyes like a dry, brittle autumn leaf. If you try to bend that leaf, it crumbles and cracks. That is your skin without moisture. Now, imagine soaking that leaf in water until it's soft. You can bend it, fold it, and it springs back without breaking. By keeping the eye area occluded at night, you are keeping that leaf pliable, so the thousands of micro movements you make during sleep don't etch deeper lines. Here is the specific way to execute the crow's feet defense safely. Do this as the very last step of your routine. Take a tiny amount of jelly, I'm talking the size of a grain of rice for both eyes, using your ring finger, which is your weakest finger, and ensures you don't pull the skin. Tap the jelly along the orbital bone. That is the hard bone you feel under your eye. Do not put it right on the lash line. Your body heat will naturally cause it to migrate slightly upward. Just tap it on the bone and on the outer corners where the crow's feet are. This creates a shield that prevents tear evaporation and hydrates those fine lines without overwhelming the area. If you wake up with puffiness, you use too much. Try using half the amount next time. But for most, this simple act wipes 5 years off the eyes by morning. Now, before we transition to the third technique, I want to take a brief pause. If you are enjoying this deep dive into practical science-based skincare, please take a moment to give this video a thumbs up. It helps us navigate the algorithm so we can reach more seniors who are looking for honest advice. And if you have a friend who's constantly buying expensive creams, maybe share this with them. It might save them a fortune. Let's address the third area, one that often gets ignored until the damage is severe. I'm talking about the neck and the chest, often called the décolletage. We will call this method the tech, neck, and structural repair. In our modern world, we are constantly looking down at phones, at tablets, or even just due to the natural changes in our spine as we age. This repetitive folding creates deep horizontal lines. Furthermore, the skin on the neck heals much slower than the face because it has fewer stem cells and less blood flow. The science behind using petroleum jelly here is related to wound healing. When you have a deep wrinkle on the neck, it behaves structurally like a wound. The collagen matrix is damaged. A pivotal study in the Journal of the American Academy of Dermatology demonstrated that keeping a skin injury moist with petroleum significantly accelerates re-epithelialization, that is, the growth of new skin cells compared to leaving it dry. When we apply this to deep neck wrinkles, we aren't saying the wrinkle is an open cut, but we are acknowledging that the skin's ability to regenerate collagen is vastly improved in a hydrated, sealed environment. Dry skin stays in a state of chronic, low-grade inflammation, which breaks down collagen even faster. By sealing the area, you stop that inflammation cycle. Imagine your neck skin is like a leather belt. If you take an old, dry leather belt and bend it, the surface cracks. Those cracks are permanent. But if you oil that leather and keep it supple, it can bend back and forth 1,000 times without cracking. We want to condition the leather of your neck so that when you look down to read a book, the skin folds softly rather than breaking into a deep wrinkle. Here is your takeaway for the tech, neck, and structural repair. The neck is less sensitive than the face, so you can be a bit more generous here. I recommend doing this immediately after a warm shower when your pores are open and your skin is fully hydrated. Scoop out a generous amount of petroleum jelly and mix it in your palm with your favorite body lotion. Mixing it creates a creamy emulsion that is easier to spread over a large area. Massage this mixture into your neck and chest using strictly upward strokes. Never drag the skin down. Gravity is already doing that for you. Massage from the collarbone up to the jawline. This upward pressure helps with lymphatic drainage, reducing that turkey neck look, while the petroleum jelly locks in the shower moisture. For an intensive treatment, wrap a warm, soft towel around your neck for 10 minutes after applying. The heat will drive the moisture deep into the dermis. Finally, we arrive at our fourth and perhaps most physically relieving method. This is for those of you suffering from painful, dry extremities. We call this the extremity barrier restoration. As we age, our circulation changes. Blood flow is prioritized for the vital organs, meaning your hands and feet often get less oxygen and fewer nutrients. This leads to that paper-thin, fragile skin on the hands that bruises if you so much as bump a table and heals that crack and bleed. This isn't just cosmetic, it's a medical concern. The medical literature, specifically in journals like Geriatric Nursing, emphasizes that maintaining skin integrity is critical for preventing infection. They found that simple emollient therapy regularly using a thick moisturizer is the single most effective intervention for preventing skin tears in the elderly. Skin tears are painful and take weeks to heal. By reinforcing the lipid barrier with petroleum jelly, you are essentially adding a layer of synthetic armor to your fragile skin. Think of your skin cells on your hands and feet like bricks in a wall. In healthy skin, the mortar holding those bricks together is strong and oily. In aging skin, that mortar has crumbled away, leaving the bricks loose and shaky. That's why your skin flakes and peels. Petroleum jelly acts as a synthetic mortar. It fills the spaces between the peeling skin cells, gluing them back down and smoothing the surface instantly. It provides the structural integrity that your body is struggling to produce. So here is the plan for the extremity barrier restoration. This is a nighttime ritual. Soak your hands or feet in warm water for about 5 minutes. You can do this in a basin while watching TV. Pat them dry, but leave them slightly damp. Then apply a thick layer of petroleum jelly. Do not be shy here. Slather it on. Then cover your hands with white cotton gloves and your feet with cotton socks. The cotton is breathable, so you won't overheat, but it serves two vital purposes. It prevents the grease from getting on your sheets, and it creates a warm, occluded environment that forces the product into the skin for 8 solid hours. You might feel a bit silly going to bed with gloves on, but when you take them off in the morning, the transformation is shocking. The gray, ashy look will be gone, replaced by pink, healthy, resilient skin. We have covered a lot of ground today. We have moved past the marketing hype and looked at the biology of your skin. We've discussed the overnight occlusive seal to stop facial evaporation. We've learned the crow's feet defense for the delicate eye area. We've tackled the tech neck repair for structural support, and we finished with the extremity barrier restoration to protect your hands and feet. I want to leave you with this thought. Taking care of your skin at 60, 70, or 80 is not about vanity. It is about self-respect. It is about honoring the vessel that has carried you through life. When your skin feels good, when it isn't tight, itchy, or painful, you feel better. You feel more confident to go out, to socialize, to be active. You have control over this. You don't need $1,000. You just need consistency and the right knowledge. So here is my challenge to you. Don't just watch this video and move on. Tonight, pick just one of these methods. Maybe start with the hands, or be brave and try the face slugging. Do it for 3 nights in a row. Then I want you to come back to this video and tell me in the comments what happened. How did your skin feel? I read every comment and I can't wait to hear your success stories. If this video was helpful to you, please subscribe. We are building a community of empowered seniors who are reclaiming their health with science, not hype. Like this video because your well-being is worth fighting for. Until next time, remember, you are strong, you are vital, and you are beautiful. Take care.